Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Go.
Hey, welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 82. And let's see, some of us are back from vacation. Some of us are still home, and some of us have a different background. Where's your blue Solo cup? Nothing good is going to come from that.
Notice it's not a red Solo cup.
Yeah, it's not a red. Blue Solo cups are worse.
I had a choice from a red and a blue, and guess what I picked? The blue.
You Toby Keith hater, you.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Anyway, Orlando, Florida. I went to try to get a palm tree behind me, but whenever I do that, my face blacks out. So you're looking at a sliding glass door to my bedroom. So
well, we can see the palm tree in the reflection, so close enough.
Yeah, we
there
can.
You go. There you go.
Who's that? Who's that in the background with no? Never mind.
Nobody. That would be funny, though.
That would be really funny.
I'd be all over that. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What? Where?
That's why you have a blue cup.
Yeah. No shit.
Because you're not going to be doing that. Yeah. All right, so tonight...
That's what she said.
That's right. So tonight's show is... today's show is going to be about little vacation time, and then we have a couple other things. I'm not sure exactly what the title is yet. We'll have to figure that out later. But
Bill's Fanboy Trip.
Bill's Fanboy Trip. There you go.
That's what the episode
is. That what it's called?
About.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fanboy.
We'll call it that then. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my trip to LA and spending some time on Sunset Strip and Hollywood Boulevard. Just in general, and then we're gonna throw out a couple other things there. So, who wants to go first? You guys want me to go, or do you guys want to go out and talk about what you guys want to talk?
I've got.
Mine's probably gonna take the longest.
I've just got something real quick.
Go for it, man.
This past Friday and Saturday night, I ran sound at Hoosiers Lounge here in Evansville for a Nashville-based band called Fuel on Fire. They are a band of brothers. They have an eclectic playlist. The oldest brother, who's 28 years old, plays electric steel guitar, electric dobro, and banjo. The brother on stage next to him plays electric mandolin and acoustic mandolin, and he is one of the lead singers. The other brother plays electric guitar and acoustic guitar, and he's the other lead singer. Then they've got a brother that plays 3 or 4 different basses, including an upright bass. And then their baby brother, who is only 20, played some pretty dynamic drums on this real tiny kit. But get on Facebook or YouTube or whatever and check out the band Fuel on Fire. I think you'll dig them.
Fuel on Fire.
Cool.
And that's all I have for this week. Good night, folks.
Wow.
Dennis?
Busy week. Well, I'm on vacation. I'm in Orlando. Got a few things I know that this was going to be Bill's show because I want to hear. Actually, we have not heard, except for a few pictures that he sent us and the ones that he posted online. We really haven't heard much about this trip. So I got some questions, and so it's going to be Bill's show. But I did do a little bit of homework this week. From our last show, which we did was the Styx Grand Illusion deal. 40th anniversary, am I right? 40th?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have a new album out called The Mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit out here. So we got, after 12 and a half hour drive and unloading and going to the grocery store and all that shit, I sit out here last night on the patio by myself, had a few beers, and listened to The Mission from start to finish, hoping for okay, Styx is going to put something new out. Ooh, it was, first song was really kick-ass. I was like, man, this just sounds like old Styx. This is going to be a journey. It's about a mission to Mars. You know, it's going to be great. No, don't go that way. It's
It was a mission to hell.
You know what? The Tommy Shaw songs were really good. There was about 4 or 5 fairly rockin' tunes on the album itself. Bill, you made a really good point on the Styx Grand Illusion show that we did last week. As far as you said, whenever, even though the new guy, they got the keyboard player, singer, lead singer is good in his own right, that Styx really needs, the original singer. You need, Dennis has to be there. Well, of course, as soon as this album starts and it gets into the songs where it should be a Dennis song, and it's the keyboard player singing, it's not there. I mean, it's just. But there again, when that same song gets to the chorus parts and they're all singing the backups, it's like, okay, it's Styx again, and then it's this guy again. It's not Dennis Dion. Man, that's a tough. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's just, if you're a Styx fan, it's just not Styx. It's a long album, actually. It's freaking. I don't know. I had it up here, but it's.
Wait a minute. Wait. Stop. Is it
what?
2 Van Halen or 3 Van Halens?
It is.
That's the time measurement for records.
Of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's a 14-song album. It doesn't have the times on there. Of course, one is
that's at least a 3 early Van Halen album.
So, and of course, there's God damn it, Kelly. I got to delete on her. So anyway, she's in the pool. She's fine. But anyway, I called her a couple times. I was trying to figure out something. But anyway, there's a piano, like a 2-minute piano song where he's trying to not, I'm not Dennis DeYoung, but I can play the piano, and he plays all this shit and classical, and it's cool, but it doesn't work. So the new mission by Styx starts out good and just kind of it's okay. Stick to the old stuff. Also on the way down, we listened to the Struts, their full album. There's some new Struts songs out now. They got a couple of new ones that are on the new album that haven't come out. But I went back and listened to the old original album. I'm trying to pull this stuff up as we go. Struts, here we go. One Night Only is their new release, but they have Everybody Wants as the main album, the first album that came out. And our band plays Kiss This, which is one of the songs that is on the radio, and there's been some other songs that's been on the radio. I had never listened to the whole album. That's why I took this chance on this trip to do this. That album is phenomenal. I mean, if you like Queen in any way, you're going to love this band. That dude
really?
This dude sounds at sometimes, even Kelly's like going, geez, that could be on a Freddie Mercury solo album. I mean, it sounds like Freddie so much. It gets a little poppy at times, but not enough pop to where it turns me off as far as being really too much pop. But it is a really good album. And if you're a Queen fan of any sort and likes the tone of Freddie's voice and that type of music, please listen to the Struts. And like I said, they're actually going on tour with the Foos. So we will be seeing them when we go to Lexington, Rupp Arena. I also listened to Inglorious.
I listened to that too. Man, that's a great album.
And that was another album that we talked about before we left. And I said, yeah, it's on my list. And dude, I like that. I mean, that's one that dude's voice just does not stop.
I want to see them, and they're from Sweden or something, right? Denmark.
Yeah,
we need to see them.
I was surprised about that, and I want to see those guys.
Yeah,
the dude has a voice that's kind of the guy from YNT / Sammy Hagar / Whitesnake. You know what I'm saying? David Coverdale. He's just got a voice that just don't stop, and they add that echo in like the old 70s, 80s kind of rock. It's just a really good guitar-driven band. I like those guys a lot.
Was there any song? I'm gonna ask you. Was there any song on the album you didn't like? Because I listened to that. I listened to that. I listened to it on the plane, and I listened to it yesterday morning twice. And I don't think there was one song on the album I didn't like.
Oh, you're asking me? No, honestly, I had it on my. I had my iPad, and the night before we left, I downloaded that. And for some reason, I had downloaded the new Cheap Trick album, which I was going to review also, which somehow that didn't download. I don't know what happened on my something screwed up, but no, there was not one song on there that I had to go, oh shit, I gotta buzz through.
No, it's a really
and there's
good
a really
album.
really funny story about there was one song that Kelly looked at me and said, please turn that off on the trip down. And I'll have to tell you that off air because it's, I can't tell you on air.
Okay.
But remind me to tell you that because you guys are going to laugh your balls off. But anyway.
Well, then don't tell me because I like my balls.
So
yeah, kind of.
So anyway, after one,
become accustomed to having them.
Down, and we're going to get to Bill's trip, but I'm going to finish my trip out here real quick. On the way down, my beautiful and intelligent wife came up with the funniest shit ever. And we had just ate lunch there in middle of Georgia. And I said, you know what? You want to listen to some of our podcasts? She said, yeah. She says, I never get an opportunity to listen to your podcast, so we're going to listen to some. So we listened to four or five podcasts. And she got to laughing so hard. And she said, Dennis, she says, you have got to start a drinking game with your podcast. And I go, what do you mean? And she says, if you just you listen to yourself. So, and she doesn't want to take any responsibility for this. And if you do, and if you're playing with a friend, whoever passes out first, you're the winner. Because, and seriously, drink responsibly, because if you do this right, you're going to probably die before the end of one episode. But when you're playing, let me get to this thing, because I can never remember, because I don't even think about it. So when you're listening to any of our episodes and you hear me say the words, and there again,
that's one.
Take a drink. There's actually others, but I won't bring those up now because Kelly said, "Oh, don't do a bunch of them now because that could be another game later on." But she said, because we counted at one time within like a minute and a half, I said it like 6 times.
Yep.
And it's like, if you did shots, you would be fucking dead before the fucking play. So you can't do one for a whole episode. You have to do it for like until the first person passes out. Then the game's over at that point. But it's either in there again or but there again.
Yeah.
But there again, when you hear those.
That's funny, but we all have those things that we say
do.
and we don't even realize we say them over and over again.
We do. But it's fun. And I told her, I said, well, that's not the one I really thought about. I said, there's another one that I think about, which I won't mention. But there are things that you say, and it's like she goes, well, no, don't stop doing it because it's funny. And I'm going, well, I won't, because I just do this. This shit's off the cuff anyway. We don't practice this shit. If we did, we'd be better at it. Anyway.
Nah. Actually, the people that listen to the show that I've talked to say they like the fact that we don't pre-do stuff. And some other podcasts do that. They share things and stuff like that. And sometimes it's good, but we don't.
When we tell each other, and when we talk about this on the podcast, we say, hey, we haven't, because Bill's been in California for the last week and a half. Other than photos and a couple of texts, we haven't really talked that much. I mean, I know a couple little things, but we haven't really got any details of what you've done and all that shit.
Yeah.
Because I said, wait for the show. But yeah, Kelly and I, and even Kelly, she's my biggest critic, and she even said, you guys got a lot. Seems like the show is a lot smoother from the very beginning. And I had a friend of mine that's actually a friend of hers who lives in Florida, South Florida, who just called me the other day and said, hey, there was a bunch of KISS memorabilia on for sale on this local bar. You interested in this stuff? And of course, it was the Kiss Playboy and a couple of albums, and then there's a bunch of McFarlane dolls. And I said, yeah, I said, I've got things that I really want. I've already got, and I'm not into the action figures. So I said, thanks for thinking about us. He said, yeah. He goes, I knew you. I've been listening to your podcast, and I said, I knew you was in the Kiss. I'm like, you've been listening to podcasts? I said, I'm sorry. I guess I used to time back. He said,
you're supposed to say thank you very much.
Yeah. I said
that's why we lose listeners every week. Dennis is out there pissing people off.
No, but I told him, I said, yeah, I said, we work hard at this, and I said, he goes, yeah, I heard a couple of your latest shows. And he said, then I went, because I drive all the time. He says, I went back and started listening from episode 1. I said, yeah, those first ones were a little rough. He said, yeah, he said, but you guys,
like the first 50 or so.
Yeah. So he said, they're coming along good. You guys are doing a good job. He said, I enjoy them. He said, they're funny. That's the whole point. He said, he doesn't seem scripted. And then, just like Bill said, it's not, we don't sit around and plan, okay, at 9 minutes, we're going to laugh at this. And,
There is no laugh track to Ages of Rock.
There's no laugh track. It's alive. It's a live track.
Dennis is going to drink a little bit of a Bloody Mary at 8 minutes. So here we go.
Well, so anyway, we're at 15 minutes and 45 seconds. Past so you're over 50 minutes.
It's because he's drinking. He's on slow time.
But anyway, I thought Kelly's drinking game was completely hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway, so she said, so we're actually on the way home because you know what the funny thing was is this trip was a lot. I told you earlier, you asked me how my trip was down. I said it was pretty smooth, but we listened to these podcasts on the way down, and it ate time up. It seemed like we were, instead of listening to music, just listening to people talking, the trip seemed a lot shorter. So I don't know.
Well, you're paying attention, and it kind of gets you involved in something, and
that's
not mundane driving. I'm surprised I'm surprised with a couple of those episodes you might have listened to. You just didn't want to just drive right into the side of a mountain.
Oh no, we listened to one with Steve Michael, which is a long episode.
Yeah.
We listened to the 2 Van Halen ones. We listened to the Styx album, or the Styx album one. And I think on the way, she wants to hear the Sunny one, so we're going to listen to that on the way home.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Actually, the one we had about 2 hours before we were getting to Orlando, I said, the Steve Michael one's the one we need to listen to because it's almost, it's an hour. It's over an hour. It's long enough, Kind of like a Van Halen album. I kind of get it to where it's just perfect timing when we get there. All right, Bill, let's do this.
All right. Well, before we get started, we do want to give a shout out to the guys in Adrenaline Mob and prayers and thoughts to those guys that lost their bass player in a wreck last couple of days. That looked. I was reading an article about it a few minutes ago. That looked horrific, and can't imagine what they're going through. So they were out on tour for their new album called We the People, and we're getting ready to do a Florida stint, and didn't work out so well for them. So just want to let you guys know that if you're listening to us. You think about those guys. That's rough being on the road and trying to get, from town to town, make some money for your families and stuff like that. And something bad happens. So just want to give them a shout out to those guys. All right. So, yes, I went to I and the family, Lisa, Noah, and Alex, and Madison couldn't go. We spent the July 4th through, we came home Friday afternoon, like 5:00 was when our plane left LA. So, I can tell you that, that's Friday, a long time to be in LA.
This show will add at a different time. What is it, Friday? Yesterday, Friday.
Oh, yeah, the 14th. So we were there from 14th. The 4th to the 14th.
Yeah, 10 days.
10 days. 10 days, yeah. So I was at a conference, a part of it, but the first 3 days we spent in Hollywood. And I could tell you that that's 2 days or 1 day too many. Because that is, they call it Hollyweird for a reason. It's really, you get down around the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and gets a little weird down there. It's strange. Have you ever been on Las Vegas Boulevard? Las Vegas Boulevard is just
you see that?
We saw that.
Wall people. I didn't see it.
Somebody closed the curtain behind him. She's going to change clothes, and she didn't want us to see.
She's getting naked back there. That's what it is. It's going to be like a Motley Crue video here in a minute. It'll be like,
Well, we did see a couple of the strip clubs from the Motley Crue video.
There you go. Ties in. Sorry.
Alex said
I
a
just
couple
freaked
times,
out
you know,
'cause I seen
that
this-
says 18, Dad. I'm like, yeah, I know. We're going to keep driving. All right, so I went out there with the intent of going to a few places for sure, right? So that was my goal. I wanted to see a couple things. So I'm going to kind of walk you through kind of what all we did, give you some ideas about what all happened. So we got there Friday and got our stuff put away, and then went to the Chinese theater, and everything. I tell you, parking is $20 no matter what you do out there. It's $20. So if you have to pay to park, it's $20. So, went there, looked around, and there's a ton of stars walk on there. It's really kind of a cool place. But I went with the intent of finding the Kiss stars. So we walked blocks and blocks and blocks, couldn't find it. Finally, Noah looks up on the internet, finds out that it is located. Note 7092 Hollywood Boulevard. And we started at like 79 something Hollywood Boulevard where we were at. So we took off walking, and it actually is the last star. I believe it was the last star, maybe the second to last star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as far east as you could go. But right near it were the stars for the Beatles and Elvis, which I thought was really cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool. It was in front of a building, a really nice building. So I'm not sure exactly what it was, but
There's a nice building down there.
yeah, that was an office building of somebody's, a lawyer's office or something, I think. But it was near there.
Go ahead.
Good. It was.
I was just going to say real quick though, you had a Kiss thing before that you missed already. I wasn't even on your vacation.
The Kiss thing before that I missed already?
The airport.
Oh, well, I'll get there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you were going to go on order.
Well, I
and
was,
going,
but
you missed one. Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, let me finish this one, then I'll jump into that real quick.
Sorry.
All right. And then we'll get back. That's okay. Anyway, so the Kiss Star was done on August 11th in 1999, and it was photos and stuff like that I've seen online are all from the original members, because that was when they were still doing their reunion and hadn't broken up yet. But I think it probably wasn't far after that disintegrated. So yeah, kaboom. So that was one thing that we did, and then Dennis is right. I wanted to make sure. I knew that LAX had a Rock and Brews, which is owned by Gene and Paul, and partially owned by Gene and Paul. And I wanted to make sure I got to one of those. So we get off the airplane in LA at LAX and walk off the tarmac, and the Rock and Brews is right across from our gate. I was like, well, there you go. So we made plans. I took some photos. I sent one to Dennis and stuff. I sent one to the guys, and then I made plans that when we would come back, we were going to leave the car early enough that we would be able to have dinner there and stuff like that. Because I thought the rest of them, I didn't realize there was another one as close as there was. So we'll talk about that one later. Then the other things that I want to make sure, I saw, some big stuff like the Rainbow and the Whiskey and the rock scene. So the following day we went and did that. We went down, we went up, did a couple of things, and then we went back down to Sunset Boulevard. Went to see the Whiskey A Go-Go was closed. We went to see the Rainbow, which was open, and the Roxy was closed as well. But the Rainbow is a restaurant, so I thought I knew it's a bar and a restaurant, so I wasn't sure. But we went it was like 2 p.m. or 2:30, something like that. And it was open, and it is really cool inside. I got photos. I'll post on the Ages of Rock podcast webpage when it gets closer to this episode airing to kind of tie things in. But it is really, really neat. A lot of history in there. I mean, you can almost feel it when you walk in there. I mean, I was just like a giggling schoolboy.
Can you smell it? Can you smell it?
No, it was fine. It's dark. It's dark. It's like,
right.
The walls are black and really dark, and the lighting's really dark, and so they have.
So here's a question I have for you. Since I didn't get to go out, I've been out there, but I didn't go there. Being a restaurant bar, is it like is it a show bar kind of situation, or just a?
No, there's not
a bar with a. But it has a stage, right?
No. Maybe outside in the back, they do, but not in the.
It's more of a restaurant then.
and it's not big. I mean, it is really small. Yeah, it's not a really big, it's not a very big place. I mean, I was
Gotcha.
surprised. I thought like you did. I thought it would be a bar with a a place to see a show, and
Sure, that's what I was asking about because
yeah,
I
it
figured it
isn't.
was like a
No,
not a dinner theater, but more of a restaurant bar, but then with a big stage and all that shit.
yeah, no,
No,
it wasn't
okay,
like that at all. No,
gotcha.
I
Okay,
would no. Um, I've got some pop up thing. It keeps popping up here. That's hope this doesn't blow up
your
my.
penis.
I hope it doesn't blow up my connection. Anyway,
That was a great one.
no, I just totally ignored you. Anyway, but in there is there's a whole wall that's all dedicated to Lenny, which is pretty cool.
Right.
And then they had a couple of different things. Like a really cool Alice Cooper
Hey,
photo
Bill.
that was in there. Yes.
That's Lemmy, not Lenny.
Oh, sorry, Lemmy. Yeah, you're right. Can we cut that out so I don't look so damn stupid?
Oh, no, it
I'm
has to stay
distracted by this pop-up that keeps popping up from Kaspersky. So I'm trying to
from
make sure
Lenny. Lenny's trying to send you some shit.
from Lemmy, and I got its pic. Anyway. So I went and saw the statues outside, which I didn't
Right.
know that. So I walked in, and the lady goes,
It is outside? I thought it was
"Yeah."
inside.
She said, "You want to come in and you want to eat, or what are you doing?" I said, "Well, my family's outside. It's a bar. I didn't know if they could come in." She said, "Oh, no, you can bring kids in here. It's no problem." So we all came in. Everybody was like, we were looking around, took some photos, stuff like that. And then she goes, "But the Lemmy statue, if you're looking for that, it's outside." And I'm like, "Oh, wow," because I would have expected to be inside. So it's actually in a little hut thing, and there's a bar outside, and it's sitting right outside. And
So did you get to see the little machine he plays, the little trivia blackjack machine he played on the end of the bar?
there were some there. I don't know. I didn't look close
He
enough.
played the one on the very end. They said that's where he would sit there all the time. That was his.
Yeah, I don't know.
His machine. Yeah. I would have went at least, touched
Yeah,
it or something.
I didn't even think about that. So I was just excited to get in there and get to see it. But the Roxy was closed, and the Whiskey Go-Go was closed.
Are they
all of them had
nighttime venues? I guess.
Yeah, but the Whiskey was closed anyway. It was a black day for them, so they were closed.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. But then I did see that Steel Panther was playing there the following Tuesday, and
fucking awesome.
That would be awesome, except for it's about a 45-minute drive from Anaheim, and it didn't start till 10, and I have to be up at 8 for a meal.
And what's your excuse for not making that one? You
Yeah,
dumbass.
I had to be up at 8.
I'd have drove 16 hours
2.
and had to be up the next day for that one.
Yeah, that wasn't going to work. So I had to pace myself for that one, but that didn't work out so well. But
and you bought the soundtrack for Ever or
yeah,
come on, Alan, help me.
Get out of here.
Endless
Anyway, so
Love.
Same guy. Yeah.
So
I
I opted not to do that. But Friday night when we left was Last in Line was playing at the Whiskey.
Ooh, that'd been good too.
Which would have been phenomenal, and unfortunately,
now, are they the ones that have the Dio hologram?
They will, and that's going to tour this supposed to be touring this fall.
Right, but they were not using it.
No,
Okay,
no. It's actually
gotcha.
See, I listened to interview with Ronnie's wife,
right,
on another podcast not long ago, and I don't think that's ever been played in America yet. I think
that's why I was wondering. Whenever you said that, I said that's the guys that do that.
Yeah, it's the band, but it's it's the band, but it's not. But they're supposed to be taking that on tour in late fall and in the winter, I think. I think they've got it set up where they're going to have like 4 or 5 songs that he's going to do. I think.
Right. I just didn't know if that was part of what their gig was now.
No.
Because I knew that was a band. But anyway,
no, and I didn't hear anything about it, so I assumed it wasn't.
Cool.
We also went to the had dinner with Sonny Pooney. So I want to give out to our guest, Sonny. And we had dinner on one night. I can't remember what night it was, with the family. And Sonny is an awesome dude. He knows I collect vinyl. So he walks in the door with this.
Well, how nice.
And says, I know you collect some vinyl, so I thought I'd buy something for you. So here's a little album for you. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. And then we sat there and talked for maybe a couple hours, to the point where the people because we had reservations. It was a kind of an upscale pizza joint. were kind of giving us the eyeball. Like, your time's up. You got to go. We got to give it a table.
Especially your wife, Lisa's like going,
No,
really?
no. He was Sonny was a great guy. I mean, it was all about
Sonny's a really nice guy. Yeah.
Super nice guy, and
That's great, though.
I just listened to a podcast he was on the day before talking about their kind of their guilty pleasures. That's not what they called them on that show. They called them something different, but it was funny.
So how far of a drive was that for him, though? He said it was
about 45 minutes, but
okay, I was thinking it was a couple hours from him.
Yeah, it was about 45-minute drive for him. He said, but it's interesting because where he lives and where his wife live are in two totally different cities, and they're pretty far apart. So that's pretty interesting. Anyway, so
well, while we're on the topic of Sonny, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see if he doesn't have a podcast of his own coming out pretty soon.
Well, Sonny's working. He's working with another podcast, and I know he's done some guest spots on Rock and or Roll podcast, and I know that those guys over there, he's doing a great job on that podcast, and it's funny. They're really good. Actually, he had the episode I listened to had him and Stephen Michael as the guests.
And Stephen's getting ready to have his own podcast also.
His own too. So yeah. So it's great. I mean, I think the one thing about this Rockin' Pod Expo has really opened up is at least my knowledge of other podcasts, and listen to a couple others, and then getting us some guys on the show that are kind of opening us up to other ones. So let's say we did that. We went to Guitar City. Guitar City is
Guitar City.
Guitar Center. Sorry. Center. I wrote City. It's Center. Trust me. Noah would be down here. He wanted to go, so we went. It's actually the flagship store. It is huge. I mean, it is really, really big. But out in front of that is the Rock Walk. And that's where everybody has, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot. There's a lot of people out there have their hands and signatures in the cement right out in front of the building. It's actually covered, so it's pretty clean. Actually, it's really nice. Did see Gene and Paul and Bruce were inducted into the Rock Walk in 1993. Little signature for Eric up there at that time as well. And then Ace and Peter were also have hands in there in 1995. And then they have a little showcase where they have different stuff. They had Peter and Ace's boots. Peter's, I think they're both from Love Gun, if I'm not mistaken.
That's cool.
And then they had an Ace guitar that was autographed as well. So that's some pretty cool memorabilia stuff that was autographed. They had all kinds of stuff, and all kinds of people had been inducted into there. It was neat. The last one was in 2016, so they got to do they got to get up with some folks, that's for sure. But it's a big store, and the guy said it's a flagship store. They had some guitars in there that I'd never seen before. I mean, they were very expensive, really very unique guitars.
Can I play that? Can I play Freebird?
No. The $12,000 Les Paul from 19 whatever. No, they're not letting you play that one. It was 12 something.
No Stairway. No.
I bet you money that if Jimmy Page walked in there and asked to play Stairway on it, they yanked that sumbitch down. Here you go, buddy.
That sumbitch would be Facebook Live. They'd be like on Facebook Live from Guitar City. Blah, blah, blah.
The cool thing about 12,000 to 24,000.
The really cool thing about that too is I didn't know this.
Because Jimmy signed the back of it, so now that's worth much more.
Like Live Nation is out there too. Their headquarters is right there on Hollywood Boulevard.
Did you go over and punch somebody in the fucking throat?
So I didn't. I should have. I went over there.
Sorry.
I was gonna stand out front, sell tickets, but I didn't.
I would have punched somebody. First person walked out the door, I'd have punched him in the throat and said, "Give it to everybody in there."
Then we drove around. We saw Capitol Records. We went to a photo gallery right across the street called Mr. Music Head. It looked kind of neat. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but it was a art gallery. Photos that were taken by photographers that were obviously paid photographers by the artist, but they had a big display of David Bowie pictures.
Cool.
Big display of Prince pictures before he became big.
Wow.
They had a bunch of Led Zeppelin stuff.
Was it like you had to pay to go in, or was it just
you didn't have to pay to go
gallery?
in. he said, no, come on
Really?
in, don't worry about it. And it was a frame shop on one side, and then it was all that stuff on the other. And they
The
were
gallery, were these for sale? I guess these
yeah, they were for
photos
sale.
for sale.
Yeah, they had some that
Expensive?
were like an 8x10. I mean, they were originals. The 8x10s
Right.
were like usually around $100. If it was signed by the photographer, it was $150. But they had
Right.
the guy that did the David Bowie cover where his got his face painted and it's kind of half
Sure.
painted. Well,
Sure.
those photos were in there from that photo shoot.
Wow.
They were not $150.
Was that
No,
was that the Ziggy Stardust album?
Yeah.
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 There was probably a couple of zeros behind that.
There
wasn't
were some zeros behind that.
it?
Yeah, and there was
Guarantee it.
one there was one of them that I saw that was, and it was big. It probably was 3 feet by 3 feet photo that they had blown up
Right.
in a canvas, and it was signed and numbered, and I think it was number 1 of 50.
Wow.
So I mean, and it was I don't know, was it like $12,000 or something like that? I mean, there was some really expensive stuff in there, and there was some stuff in there that was, $100 for an auto. I mean, for something unique like that would be kind of cool if it was something.
Was
that
there any
you
Kiss photos in there at all?
I did not see any Kiss photos, and we looked through a bunch of stuff. But like I said, there was a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of really, really cool stuff. But the major things they were displaying were some Led Zeppelin stuff. They had some Stone stuff. And then, but it was called MrMusicHead.com. If you go to the website, you can look on there and see some of those.
This is something that you just run across. You did.
Yeah, I just saw it across the street. Thought it looked kind of interesting.
Isn't that cool?
And I was like, let's go check it out.
So if you saw that, just think how much other shit that's out there that you could have saw that.
Yeah,
you missed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
That I didn't see. And the boys, my God, I've never seen more Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
How they were fucking for boners going, oh, look at that shit.
We went to Rodeo Drive Bugattis. I mean, it was just it was unbelievable. And then let's see, I went to Rainbow Guitars. Then I went to Amoeba Music. Amoeba Music is one of the biggest music stores in the country. Actually, it's a city block, so it's really small. Has 2 floors. And
we talking instruments? Or are we talking?
No, this was all
vinyl, CDs. Okay, gotcha.
Video,
gotcha.
DVDs, Tower Records on steroids.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I knew where it was. We passed it one day, and I was like, "Oh, I want to go so bad." We were out late. We went out to dinner one night, and I'm like, "Let's go by there." So I went by there, and I was like, "You guys can go back to the room. I'll get a Uber." But I did buy some vinyl, so I thought I'd show you some vinyl I bought. The prices weren't too bad. I mean, they were like $8. I did pay more for one of them. $6, $8, $4.
That's Indiana prices. That's not bad.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad prices.
He paid extra for Endless Love Volume 2.
Actually, I did. You'll
Signed by.
All right. So I picked up this one, which we've been looking at, which is Toto 4.
Toto.
Yep, picked that up. That was like $8.
Excuse me.
I did get this.
Oh my God!
There you go. Fastway.
That was actually on another podcast. They were talking about your favorite first album. That's it. I love that.
This is the one this is my Endless Love Part 2.
That's sitting in my garage right now.
I have picked this up 5
tool
times
bench.
and put it back and picked it up and put it down, and finally I just pulled the trigger.
I got it. Mine's all shitty, but it's sitting in the garage.
This is a 80s band or 90s band that I like called Mr. Mister. I don't know if you guys know who they are.
Oh yeah.
But I picked this up too.
Take these broken wings.
Exactly. And this was $4. So
shit, I'd have bought that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I did. It really, the prices weren't bad at all. And the best part is the bag has free shipping on all music anytime, no minimum. So
right. But hell, even the album that you had the plastic on it with the original sticker that had the songs
it's still got shrink
wrap
on it.
That's awesome. That's fucking good.
So yeah,
you rarely find that. That's
I could have been in there for
like 8 days.
But I could tell that they wanted to go because they were like, "What are you looking for?" And then they come back, "There's nothing over there." I wasn't sure if that was
go through the whys. Okay,
I wasn't sure if that was code for I didn't go look. I'm just going to tell him that. No, they didn't do that. No, they were all
There
helping.
might be a kiss in the Z. They may have made a
It's
mistake.
exactly
Go with
right.
the Z's.
They did have a. They did have a Kiss Killers German version LP.
I got Kiss Killers. I got it on an album. I'll give it to you.
Do you have the German version, or do you have the? I mean, it's got the German logo.
I got the shitty version.
Oh, what's the German? It was a
well,
German
in
logo.
Dennis's opinion, any version is the shitty version.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
But
I do have Kiss Killers, and it's got the two songs that are shitty, and then the other ones that I've already got. So
it was sealed.
I tell you what, I'll trade you that for the Ramon CD. How's that?
Oh yeah, that's no problem at all.
It'd be an even swap.
That's just garbage. I mean, it was sealed, and I think it was like $150 or something like that. But they had some other stuff. They had a couple albums that were autographed and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I'm just glad you put a shirt on because what you shouldn't. The picture you sent us earlier was pornographic.
My moves, my hairy moves. Yeah. You don't like actually, my hairy moves?
I threw up a little bit in my throat.
I wasn't listening to David Matthews, so anyway.
So then we did go to in Buena Park, which is near Anaheim, where we ended up being. We did go to Rock and Brews, which is really, really good. The food was great. Everything we had was great. Which you never know. You know, those places end up being like Planet Hollywood and Hard Rock, which the food is just food. But the food was really, really good. We had calamari for an appetizer, which was really good. Hand breaded, it was really good. Lisa and I got this tri-tip steak dinner thing. I mean, the food it wasn't just burgers and fries. It wasn't that at all. It was really good. The decor was really cool. They were showing videos and stuff like that. Gene is appearing there August 5th, maybe, I think it is. They have an outdoor volleyball court, and you can throw cornhole and stuff like that. But it's cool. It was a really cool joint, and packed. I mean, it was I think we went on a Monday. Cool. Well, that was Friday evening we went. It was Friday evening, and it was packed to the gills.
What kind of videos were they showing?
All kinds of videos. They showed 80s. I mean, it was all music videos. So the music was also on the videos.
Did they do one Kiss video while you were there?
No, not one.
Really?
Nope.
I can't believe that.
Not a single one.
So when you get in there, do they have the same 16 items on the menu? And they haven't changed that menu for like 10 years? It's like, I was here like 20 years ago. You get the same shit on the fucking menu. What is this? It's a hamburger.
It's funny you say that because we were going to go, like I said earlier, that's very funny. That's really funny.
It is funny.
If I go
I just
back.
thought of that.
And there again.
Hey, I'm gonna license that joke, Gene Simmons.
There you go.
Hey, Gene's come on our show.
It's like, yeah.
You should copyright that and no.
I want to do my line. What is it? And what is it I say? And there again. Yeah, I'm going to copyright that saying. And there again.
You can't copyright it. You have to trademark it.
You have to trademark it.
Oh, shit.
But
trademark it, whatever.
We got these, and all the food had some kind of a rock theme. They weren't necessarily Kiss things. They had like demon fries or something like that, of course, but they didn't have any kind of. But they had these
demon fries.
Yeah, they were hot fries. They had.
They have the Paul Stanley hot dog.
Nope, they didn't have any. They didn't have any Paul Stanley hot dogs.
They have the Gene meat sandwich.
They didn't have any. Didn't have the Love Gun. Didn't have the Love Gun meal. They didn't have
the Lita Ford taco.
They did not have that.
Oh, we can go on all night.
Milkshakes are called Uzis instead of Aussies. I don't know.
Oh, you're not going the same direction I'm going, but it's.
I know. I can tell. I was trying to clean it up a little bit.
Thank you.
You all right, Alan?
Thank you.
Alan's gonna have a heart attack.
Oh, that felt good.
I hope you guys are watching this video.
I'm on vacation.
If you're listening to this and not watching it, you're missing the visual.
You need to watch
totally
it.
Visual episode here.
I'm from Orlando, and you get to see a screen door with a curtain behind.
There you go.
It's like there's a naked girl behind this thing. It's
well, there's not. If she's still naked, and it's been this long. You'll know why.
She's probably sleeping.
You're using that blue cup.
We've been sitting out in the sun all morning.
It wears you out.
Look at this. I'm already burnt. Been in here one day.
Well, I think you're
Anyway.
burnt, but I think you're roasted because of
Well,
the.
I'm burnt too. Yeah. Anyway.
So we did end up. They did have they had dessert. We weren't going to get dessert, but they had something that sounded really good.
What could the
dessert?
dessert be?
Well, it was
Cherry pie.
no,
Some
it
kind
was,
of custard.
was
Oh, that would be great. Warren's cherry pie.
oh, it's purple
Have a piece of that.
raindrops. Purple
Are
raindrops.
you serious?
Yeah, but they were donuts,
Oh shit!
hot fudge in the middle of them, and raspberries. Raspberry preserve stuff on
Fudge,
top.
raspberry. There's like three
man,
bands already we could use into this.
There you go. And they were really good. And it was a Prince theme. So there you go.
Oh shit!
Hell in a handbasket. All right. So
Yeah.
we'll finish up this mess with
not a
one
mess. This is a
more.
great trip,
I got
dude.
one more raspberry sorbet.
There you go. I want to
I've
get
had
a
that before.
raspberry sorbet.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're gonna get. People are leaving.
That's
as a
great,
result,
Alan.
I can tell.
That's awesome.
All right. So we went
bad.
twice. So the first night we were there.
Why you went twice? So Gene got 2 paychecks.
No. So we went to this place twice. And the first
Right.
time we ended up driving up there, and it was getting dark when we got up there, and it was black when we got there. So
Right.
we drove. You can do, if you go to, I wrote the website down. What's it called again? www.rockandrollgps.com.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna correct myself. I thought you said you went to Rockin' Pod's place twice. You went
No.
to
How
Gene's
about Rockin'
place
Brew?
twice.
I didn't go
No,
to
Rockin'-
Rockin' Pods at all.
No,
That's not
Rockin'
until
Brew.
August.
Right.
Rockin' Brew. You're talking about now Gene's place, right?
Yeah, I hadn't made the segue yet because you keep like talking.
Oh,
I've tried 3 times.
I'm fucking drunk. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Really? You think?
Yeah. I'm on
anyway.
vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we figured that out.
All right.
Anyway, so we went there the first night we got there, which was on Tuesday night. We drove up there to see it, and it's up it's on. Here's his address is 2650 Benedict Canyon Drive.
Oh, don't give us address out.
You can just Google. I mean, like I said, www.rockandrollgps.com. You put in Gene Simmons and it gives you his address. It isn't like he sent it to me in a text message privately or anything.
Get on the Google.
Get on the Google.
I love
we
that
drove,
term.
We drove up,
Get on the
and
Google.
he has a big wooden gate, and you can't see anything, but it was Gene's house. So there you go.
See, you should have went up like the elder and put your hand up there like they had a big knocker and like took a picture.
I hate that album. I would never do that.
I know, but that would have been fucking funny as shit. Dude.
No. If it had an album out, the Elder
That would have been the greatest thing
if
ever.
it had the Elder album cover on it, I'd have just peed on the gate.
I'd have nailed it. If it didn't have a knocker on it, I'd have nailed a big ass.
It did not have
knocker on
it did not have a knocker
And
on it.
I would have just nailed one on there and just did it and then drove off and said, "Fuck,
yeah, no.
you're welcome."
You did. So it was too dark to really get any pictures. They looked bad. So we drove back. We drove up through. He lives in Beverly Hills. We drove around up through Beverly Hills and then went to his house and got there too late. So we went back a couple of days later. But the first time we went, it was when we left Warner Brothers Studios on Tuesday or Wednesday, and we drove to Paul's house first. And Paul lives at 13850 Mulholland Drive, which is about the top of Mulholland Drive. You can't get much higher than that. And which is cool, though, when you drive up there, they have these places you can pull off and take pictures down the valley. A little scary, actually, because if you get too far off the side of that road, it is like see you later city. And there's not guardrails on some of that area. So it's a little bit spooky. So we pulled in Paul's driveway, jumped out, took a photo in front of the gate. You could look down the driveway because his driveway is really steep. So you can see down, you can see the house. And there were 4 or 5 cars sitting out there in front of the house. And we just kept Alex and I were just kind of hanging out, waiting for him to come out.
But like a Pinto and a Chevelle and
it's an Escalade
like
and another Escalade. Another Escalade.
A fucking K car and a Dodge Caravan.
It's a Kia and it there was a Love Gun mobile. I didn't know what that was about. Yeah. And then we went back to Gene's house because they only live about 15 minutes apart. So went back to Gene's house and we pulled in Gene's driveway. I popped out. Noah popped out with me. We took a photo real quick, and Shannon and this blue Bentley pulls in the driveway. So we both freak out a little bit, and I'm like, I don't know what to do because where the driveway is.
Shannon tweet. I don't know what to do.
The way the driveway is they have a very short driveway from the street to their gate. I mean, it's like one car is about all you could get in there, and so we had pulled in there kind of crooked, and so she pulls in, and we couldn't figure out who it was. Then we could see that it was Shannon, and she didn't roll down the window or anything. We just jumped in the car and left.
No shit.
Because she wasn't going to open the gate or anything until we left. She didn't want some crazy ass.
It's fucking real. He's been at Paul Stanley's house. They just called us and said, "Don't let that motherfucker in."
So yep, that was my fanboy moment on that long trip. And then we had Lisa had her own fanboy moment, and it wasn't really a fan.
Great.
That's great.
It was just a.
But if you think though, getting back before you get to the Lisa fanboy moment, if you would have walked up to her car with a Playboy with Shannon's on the cover, you think she would have rolled down the window and signed it?
Yes.
Oh, I guarantee she would.
That would be funny, actually.
Oh, that would have been great. I would have had two like the one with Gene and the one with her, and it's like, on which one? Okay, it's Shannon. Okay,
she'd have rolled the window. She'd have rolled the window down about that far though, so you could just stick the thing in there.
I mean, like, is this sure? I can't. I'm gonna get my gloves out so I can touch this thing, and then I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch it. Here, I tell you what. You hold it, and I'm gonna sign it.
DNA testing.
Anyway,
but
that's so funny though. You wouldn't let the woman in her house. That's the greatest shit ever. That's the greatest
so
story.
I could have blocked her. I guess I could have blocked her until I was ready for her.
Fucking You Bill blocked her.
That's exactly right. But it was cool. I mean, that was as close to greatness as I came anyway. And then
that's awesome.
So kind of not a rock and roll story, but kind of a cool story. We went to Disneyland on Thursday, and the boys and I were riding the automobile ride, and Lisa's didn't feel good because she just rode Space Mountain, and and then wasn't feeling all that great, so she didn't want to ride the cars because I guess they were too tame after riding Space Mountain. So she's standing up there and she looks over.
I can't drive.
Yeah, she's a guy on his phone, and she goes, "I think it looks like Jerry Springer." So it was Jerry Springer. So she really did get to meet Jerry Springer, got her picture taken with him, all kinds of stuff. So, and talked to him a little bit. So he was pretty cool, nice guy. He did not ask. He did not ask if those were really our kids. And
I could say Bill got out from the ride. He found out that his kids weren't. The DNA wasn't right, and that's not Bill's kids.
Right.
You're thinking the Maury Povich show.
And he's Bigfoot.
Has done that too.
Oh, has he?
Oh yeah. And Bigfoot is involved at some point. So
yeah, exactly. But that was our trip.
Awesome.
And then I had my conference with the AHRA conference for the last 4 days, and it was awesome. We had a great time.
Boring.
Great people.
That's
and
boring.
It wasn't boring, man. It was great. We had a good time.
I'm joking.
So here you go. So there's a band called the Chris Boss Band out of San Antonio. They bring those guys every year. Shimatsu is a company that we do business with some, and they fly them from San Antonio to wherever the event is, and they do a big show on Tuesday night. That is the ticket people try to get because they run out like they usually run out like the House of Blues, and it's all free food and liquor for 4 hours.
Cool.
And then Chris Boss plays a set for a couple hours, and so it was a really good show. And they're good guys, so we've met those guys a couple of times, and
cool.
Yeah. And I get asked. It's kind of funny. I get asked starting earlier in the week, are you wearing your KISS shirt to the show Tuesday night? So it's become kind of a thing that people expect. So, and the last 3 years, 4 years, Chris has ended the set with Rock and Roll All Night. So there you go.
There you go.
Cool.
Very
And
interesting.
Bill, just give you some props. You are now president-elect.
I am. I am president-elect as of last Wednesday afternoon. As of this past Wednesday.
You can bring. So do you get this? Like decide all the entertainment? You could have Kiss come in next year. It's like you know what, the budget's going to suck this year because I just hired Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, BYOB.
Guess what? You bitches are going to be at the Hotel 6 because we got Kiss coming in. So we're going to.
So my year will probably be in the year that I'm the president will be in 1819. So that'll be probably in Denver.
Denver,
but it's not that far.
Red
away.
Rocks.
Ooh, yeah, Red Rocks. I'd love to go to a show there if we could figure out how to make that work.
I'd love to go to Red Rocks.
I've seen a couple of shows at Red Rocks.
You've been there? So who have you seen there, Al?
Yeah, you talked about that before. You saw
Little
Slaughter, Poison, and Bullet Boys.
Huh. So you've seen Poison's shitty vocals in the Red Rocks. That was a joke. No. It was a joke.
It's funny when he looks back at this, he's gonna go, "That's a joke," and the two of us are just dead faced, like, "What?"
Well, I mean,
not that funny.
it is what it is.
That part's funny. The part where we aren't laughing.
And no, Dennis, we are not pulling this episode.
Yeah.
Of course we're not. This is a
Anyway,
great
that's
episode.
it for me. So hopefully you guys didn't get bored on this show. So,
Yep.
No, I like to hear it actually because we haven't heard. We knew that you were going on this trip, but we didn't really get any details. We told you don't give us any details.
Yeah, it was fun.
Except for I did know the Shannon story, which I think that's freaking hilarious.
Looking back, I probably should have held on to that and not told you guys about that. But it was funny. I was freaked out, and I called you guys
I know.
moments after that happened. I was like,
forget the picture, like going, holy shit.
I was like, oh my
you
gosh,
actually
Bill
sent us
is calling. Something must be wrong.
Well, he sent that picture saying which gate was which because there was a wooden gate and there was a steel gate. He said, which one is which? And I actually picked the right one, remember?
Yep.
He said, which one's Gene's, which one's Paul?
Yeah, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well,
so there you go.
Are we done?
I think we're done.
All right.
I think I've read. I don't think I missed anything on my notes.
Okay,
Nope.
If you are still with us, visit us on agesofrock.com.
Why not?
Check us out on Stitcher Radio, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Ear Peeler, all of that fun stuff. And until next week, peace out, folks. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.